Welcome back, our viewer. This is Health Now. We continue with Becky. We were talking about depression. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we looked at the emotional bit, and we looked at the behavioral. So now we also looked at some of the causes, and it's good to remind viewers that stressful situations can push us to depression. And this is what I would like them to understand, that especially if in your lineage there have been a kind of a mental illness, it's good to take care of the stressful situations. Because you see, me and you, we may be in a stressful situation, but you find yourself, you're moving into depression quite faster than me because of those predisposing factors that I talked about. Now, let's talk about now depression in adults. And we ask ourselves, do we believe we can be depressed as adults? And I guess that is where we have an issue. Because allow me to talk to my brothers. You know, men are socialized to be strong. And I remember we discussed this in another topic here.
Yes, we did.
And as men are growing up, they were taught to be strong. A man can't cry.
Their tears go down.
Inside. Exactly. I like that, Jane. Their tears go inside. As the tears are going inside, the burden is going inside. And so, even as they go through difficult moments, it still goes inside. And so they don't know how to speak. They don't know how to say, I have these problems. Okay? And that's why you're seeing, sorry to say, and this is statistics, we have so many men who are committing suicide more than women. Why? Because, you see, like I had said, in a clinical depression, when one of the symptoms I talked about is suicide. And I said suicide is a way of escaping. Because this man is asking, what do I do? One, it's a shame to talk about my problems. It's a shame to say I am stressed. It's a shame to say I can't.
It's a shame to say I don't have money.
Exactly. It's a shame to say, and you know, actually, and I know we'll look at young people, even young people, boys, are even looking for money. So that because the girls are saying, I need, you are the man, you are the one to provide. So you see all this notion, the man is carrying a lot. And we are here to say, a man is a human being. A man, we need to change that narrative and say, because of the mental illness that is there and the depression that we are talking about, this man needs to be given a platform to talk. But now, also men, we need to tell them that help is there. It's not a sign of weakness to look for help because you are a human being. The other category of adults, Jane, if you allow me, that I want to address that really is killing with depression is us who are in a Christian setup. Starting with our shepherds. You know, we call them the men of clothes and women of clothes. And us now, the clergy and us. You know why? Starting with the clergy, and the other day I was invited to speak to a forum of clergy. And some of the things is they do not know who to talk to. Because remember, to us as their followers, we are called parishioners or followers. We have a lot of expectation from them. And sometimes we see them as very strong. Actually, they should carry my burden and their own burden. Now, imagine like where I go to church, we are almost 500. Now, my pastor carry 500 problems, including his own problem. And you know, he doesn't have anywhere to air. That's why depression is getting them. And unfortunately, you see now what is happening. And because I love this because we are in a church setup and we need to correct this, because if they don't look for help, what will happen? We might now, as followers, we might start seeing gospel as not true. You see? So And I had said, depression cuts across, starting with me, the clinical psychologist. We have so many psychologists committing suicide.
Yes.
So many, it's there. So meaning, even the people that we are looking at really need to look for help. Now come to us,
Before we come to us, the clergy.
Yes.
I want to go back there.
Please, Jane, because I will be comfortable you speaking about it.
Yes, very, very important. Because as we said, our viewer, a health show is your friend in matters health. And this, if we don't talk about it here, we are not offering what we need to offer. And that is why I would want us to go back to the clergy.
Thank you.
We are there. I minister in church, where I go to church. And what I have seen, also in my practice, I have interacted with the clergy, leaders of all levels, and have had issues. There's one that had called me to talk about stress management among elders in a church. And one thing that there is that because as you have rightly said, that they don't know who to go to. And the other thing is, how can my pastor come to the member and come and say, akuna shida fulani, or has a problem here? It can never happen. Because, again, the member will say, Pastor alikuja akaniambia. But this pastor is a human being.
Sure.
We've had
Very
pastors
true.
and clergy committing
Suicide, yes. Yes. Sure. I agree with you.
And that is why I would want you to go back there, because this is for all of us.
Very true. Yeah. Jane, I like that because you've given me permission. You know, I'm in a church setup.
Yes.
So, and like I said, I have, and I'm sure when I say this, I know so many pastors that have been into different forums, talking to them, starting even where I go to church. And we have been having this discussion. So I want to talk to clergy that are out there. It doesn't matter where the denomination, but you are clergy. First of all, we want to tell the clergy, you're a human being. You are a family person. You see, even in a marital setup, whether, issues in a marital setup, don't differentiate that you are a clergy or you're just a normal human being. Because when we get to home, we are not clergies, right?
We are human beings.
We are human beings. You're dealing with your wife who is your human being, or your husband who is your human being, or your children who are children like my own children. And they are going through the phases of life the way my children. So, but now, because of the expectation we have put in you, then the clergies are taking those expectations and, above expectation and owning them. Like your children can't go haywire, like your children can't develop like any other children. That is a lie. And you need to give even children of clergies space. Because we even put a lot of expectation on children, on clergy's children. And they're developing like an unnecessary pressure.
A pastor's kid.
How can a pastor's kid do that? This pastor's kid, for example, let me talk about my pastor. My pastor has a son who is age mate of my son, and they're very good friends.
Yes.
And they go through the same phases. And then we need to talk to us. We don't need to give them unnecessary pressure. Then we need to tell our clergy, can they accept their human being used by God? So they need to look for people to talk to. And they are, when talk about profession, and they need to look for a professional counselor. Don't go to your members. To be frank, you go to your members, of course they will talk about it. Go to a professional counselor. One of the things that bites us is confidentiality. And we eat the oath of confidentiality. So you will not see me talking about it all. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about many counselors, professionals that are there. So what we are telling the clergy is, look for help. Because you're going through the same things we are going. Jane, you said something good. They're in the community.
Yes.
So we are community members, all of us. The only difference is that God has lifted you to use you to us. But other things, you need to look for help. Please talk, because as Jane, you have well put, I also have many. I know they're struggling and others have committed suicide. And I'm it's very sad. It's very sad. You don't have to go through that. Help is there. Let's tell them to talk about it. And even wives of the pastors, you know, there's a lot of expectation, unnecessary. You are a woman just like me, going through issues. Look for help. The only difference is, of course, you can't talk to fellow women in church sometimes because it may harm you more than doing good. Let's talk now to the general public.
We leave the ladies, the first ladies of the church, with due respect. I have very many friends, but there is a lot of expectations from the members, and some of them, they blame the lady more than their pastor, the male person. They will say, our pastor is very good. Lakini mke wake, mama pastor. So there's a lot of stress and a lot of things and expectations that are heaped on this lady.
True. I agree with you.
She's coming to church with a very long face. The way I call it, a donkey face. I mean, a very long face. Because she has gone through a lot. And when she's coming to this church, there are so many things that are being heaped on her. Just something about it.
I agree with you. Maybe this is a topic we'll do. It's a whole range of, because you see, this pastor's wife, you call them the first lady, is a woman. Let's forget about even being a pastor's wife. Is a woman and a wife of someone. Who is your pastor, but to her is my husband.
Is a husband,
And just like any other woman, I need that warmth. You know, I need my husband to be near me. I need to discuss issues, not with my pastor, with my husband. And I need even to be romantic with my husband, not my pastor, my husband. And I just need to be a girl. I need to be just a woman. But now, sorry to say this, with all due respect, now I'm here seated because my husband is also carrying a lot, who's your pastor. I see all of you hugging him. Remember, I'm a human being. Let's not shy away from that.
True.
Everyone is hugging him, very warm, you know, to him. And I'm like, okay, my space, where will I get my... So how do you want me to behave? You know, it's very normal. And we are so excited out there. You know, Dad, what? But now, when we are both of us, there is no that. How do you expect me? Mental illness start creeping. That's why I am sad. I'm not happy. Because I am supposed to be pastor's wife, behave like pastors, but I'm a human being.
I am a wife. I am a wife.
Yes.
I am a human being.
Thank you so much.
I am Jane.
I am Becky, married to so-and-so, who happens to be your pastor. So I want him to be the man I married. I didn't marry a pastor. It's only now. That is a calling.
Let me tell you something. I probably share with our viewers. When I was praying for a husband, long time ago, I actually said, without knowing what I was talking about, that I would never want to be married by a pastor. I had my own reasons because of the way I see that they are going to preach in many places, I'm brought up in a PCA church, and you know that mutaratara. So I was like, see, these other Pentecostals, the pastors go places, they leave their homes, and so I was saying, I don't want to be married by a pastor. So now those are some of the things also that probably will bring about even depression.
True. Yeah, it's a lot, and maybe we'll have a topic on that. It's a lot in church, and then we want to tell us as adults, that seeking for help. As much as I'm born again, it's not a sign of weakness. It's not an absence of faith. It's not, because that's what is eating us. Does not say that I'm not praying. Because I'm a human being. And this is what I'm telling adults in a Christian setup. You'll go through depression, but because you fear to be judged. That uyo akona depression, kwani haobangi,
Hana faith.
hana faith.
Yes.
So those are some of the hindrances that are making us get depression in church, commit suicide in church, you know, or do other things, even backslide. And that's why you're seeing there's a lot of usage of alcohol in church, sorry to say. Because you see, I have pain, but I don't know who to talk to in church. Because if I say I'm struggling with this, how will Jane look at me? I thought you are born again. How would you struggle with this? So we need to also be open up and stop judging. In this era of depression, I told you last time, this is an era of digital, whether we like it or not.
Yes.
And so in an era of digital, there are many things, there are many challenges, there are many things that are coming. And so we need to talk about it without being judged.
Yeah.
And even people out there who are not in church, we need to accept that depression is real.
Yeah.
Depression is there. Stressful moments are there. And if we don't take care of them, they will push us to depression. So what can we do? And that's why we are here. There are many things. So as I finish, there are many things, but there are simple things that I want to tell our viewers that they can do. Very simple things they can do.
Yeah. And first, probably before we get to the areas that to some of the things that they need to do to reduce this depression. Before we leave the clergy, because that is an area that many of us who are ministers, we are not saying the other people, we are not saying the other viewers that they are not there, but we are also saying this is an area that, as you rightly put it, the issue of stigma, the issue of am I going to go down to somebody? Why am I seeking help? Am I seeking help because I am not praying enough? I am not reading the word enough. I am not, and I am a minister, that kind of a thing. And that is why it is very critical when we talk about it here, so that we are reaching out to our clergy, to everyone. Kindly, Becky, go on.
Thank you so much, Jane. And like I had said from the word go, that, mental illness is my passion.
Yes.
Because you see, a mentally health, stable person is able to negotiate life. You see, the fact that you're mentally stable, and I said from the beginning, does not mean it's an absence of stress. It means that you'll go through difficulties in life, but when you're mentally stable, you will negotiate. You'll be able to negotiate.
Yes.
It's just like being physically fit. When you're physically fit, even when illnesses come, you will be able to negotiate.
Yes.
Even your healing is faster. The same with mentally stable. So we need to be physically stable, and physically well, and mentally well. And there's some things that we can do that can aid our mental stability. So those are some of the things that I'll be sharing. But there's something I didn't say, which is very common. And people need to check. I work in a hospital, you know that.
Oh, yes.
I work in a hospital.
Yes.
And I want to shock you that, and this is a research done, and of course I have seen, more than 50% of the illnesses that are taken to the hospital, their prognosis or their diagnosis, or let me use a simpler English, their genesis are related to stress. In other words, what am I saying? I'm saying majority of illness that we have, if we are able to deal with depression, they will go down. In most cases, you would see, you go to a hospital and there are illnesses that we call psychosomatic illnesses. Psychosomatic illnesses, and I'm sure majority of people have been there na lugha ya roko mwananchi ni magonjwa ya hapa na pale.
Yes.
Leo ni kichwa, mgongo, mguu. Ukienda hospitali daktari anakuambia, hata tukikupeleka lab hatuoni.
Hakuna kitu.
Because what happens, like I had said, you go through a stressful situation. It prolongs. So what that depression or stressful situation does, it alters, the way you fight with diseases. So that mechanism is reduced. Because you see, it starts with the brain.
Yes.
The brain sends a message to the body. Things are not good.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not able to fight this. It weakens the whole system.
Yes,
the immune system
yes.
is weakened.
Yes.
So that means when you have weakened your immune system, you are always fatigued. And when you're fatigued, you are always sickly. Ndio unasikianga kakichwa. You know the way women, we are all, and some people, you always have this headache, extra Panadol, you know, all those self-medication medicine.
Yeah.
Because me na umangwa, even some of this illness like gastritis, kale kaugaja wa mama wanapenda kusema, kuna kitu inakujanga hapa, that here nasikia hata sikunywangi nini sikunywangi. Actually all that is a symptom of stress.
Yes.
So if we are able to reduce stress, we are able to reduce depression. And in return, as a result, you will be physically well.
Yeah.
So viewers, if you forget anything, remember the sicknesses. If we need to reduce them, we need to be mentally stable. So what do we need to be mentally stable? And some of these things, I know we are in Africa.
Let me give you a story of my mom. 2 or 3 years ago, she got ill. She fell ill.
Yes.
Now, the doctor said one of the things that she needs to do is exercise. So we sat down with her.
Yes.
And I told her, you know, Mom, what? You will be moving from here to our shopping center and coming back 3 times.
Yes.
She was like, huh? You want people now to take me to Madani? I've gone mad. Now when people see me walking up and about. So that's why I was saying some of the things that I want to say. I know we are African, we don't embrace. And I remember my mom bringing a lot of issues that I can't walk. You know, women in this area will think I've gone berserk, walking aimlessly.
And then when it is like that, so-and-so's mother.
Yes.
So-and-so's mother.
Yes, she's mentally ill.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I want to tell viewers, remember, we want to make our mental stability.
Yes.
Is exercise.
Yes.
Exercise, that's why I was giving you the story of my mom.
Yes.
Exercise, you don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to pay to the gym. I know Africans, we don't embrace exercise.
Very rarely.
Very rarely.
Yeah.
And you know, exercise is within us. You know, that walking from my mom's place to the shopping center is enough. You walk by yourself, or you can look for someone who can walk. You can walk 2 times, in the morning and in the evening, because that really helps the brain. So if you're carrying a difficult situation and you're walking, you know, walk, of course, not the normal walk.
Yes.
You know, increasing some speed.
Yes.
That really helps your mental stability.
Yes.
So the other thing, and I'm talking to African, is taking enough water. You know, water is therapy. Because I'm giving some of the affordable solutions that can aid.
Yes.
Probably, these are just some solutions that can help. But there are other solutions, like you have to go to the hospital, get diagnosed.
Yes.
Some of these depression needs medication. Others need therapy, just like that.
Yeah.
But I'm also giving some of the things that can help us.
The practical
day-to-day, you know? And again, walking or exercising helps you to release the dopamine. Dopamine is among the neurotransmitters I talked about. Serotonin. Because we need, when you're going through stressful situation, those neurotransmitters, I said, they are eaten slowly by the stress. So we need to bring them back. And I'm giving practical solution to bring them back. I said walking, on exercise. You can do any kind, even in the house. Those who are advanced, we have the internet. YouTube has very nice exercise that you can do at home. If you don't have internet, don't worry. You have what it takes. Even outside there in your house, you can jump. There are many solutions.
True. And when we come to walking, we go back kidogo on or briefly on walking. When you are walking, it's also helpful when you want to know, are you walking right? Sing a song.
Exactly.
Sing a song. If you can be able to finish a statement, a song, like, you finish, you know that you are not really walking well.
Yeah.
You're supposed to walk where you are panting. You're breathing.
Yes.
You're breathing hard. Brisk walking.
Brisk, actually, yes.
Brisk
walking.
Brisk walking.
Yes. That really helps.
Yeah.
Taking of water.
Yes.
Eating the right food. And the right food. Nowadays, I know we have the takeaway. I don't know where we got this from, the ready-made foods.
Yeah.
If we can go back to eat the right foods that we used to eat, that food my mom would give me and cry. The spinach, the doma, the guashes, merengue. I have not forgiven her for merengue.
You seek for forgiveness.
I keep on reminding her. But you see, they knew what they were doing.
True.
Because those were the right food.
Yes.
And they aid in our mental stability. And something else is you look at what you love. There are people who love just listening to the music. It helps.
Therapeutic.
It's very therapeutic. Actually, we say even religion or Christianity, let me call it religion, is part of,
therapy.
Because there are people who would pray and feel good. And there are people who would listen to gospel or what kind of a music that makes you feel good. Because what we want your mind to be naturally stable. Being happy, purposing to be happy.
Yes.
And being happy, you're not happy because everything is good. So you have to be intentional. In the midst.
I love that.
Intentional. This is what Paul calls thorn in the flesh. You have the thorn, with you.
Yes.
But the grace is there. Is that not what Paul was told?
It is sufficient.
So I'm talking to people who I know you have millions and millions of thorns. But you have to be intentionally happy.
Yes.
Because the more you're happy, the more dopamine is released. And I said, if the dopamine is released and other neurotransmitters in your body, they aid you mentally and then physically. And we are saying we're even going to suppress illnesses. So those are some of the things that you need to do. However, you can look for professional help.
Yes.
Professional help is available.
Yes.
You can also go seek for professional help. Don't shy away. Speak out. We even have hotlines that you can talk and remind men. We avoid negative coping mechanism because what they'll do, they'll damage you more. They're temporary. So I want to look for a long-lasting solution.
Yes.
And even our clergy, we've talked about you. Look for a long-lasting solution. Professional counselors are there to help you deal and go through. So those are some of the things that I thought I need to tell people practically they can do.
Yes.
But I love being intentionally happy.
Yeah, that one is...
You'll see me happy.
Yes.
And looking for things that can make me happy. So, and some people don't know what makes them happy. It's time you sit down and ask yourself, what makes you happy? What makes you happy?
Yes.
Like, for example, myself, when I'm going through difficult situation, I say, we are counselors, psychologists, but we have our moments.
We have our moments.
When I'm going through issues and difficult moments, as beside looking for help, because I also look for help, I have a therapist.
I have
a therapist, ongoing therapist.
I have looked for help.
Yes.
Not once, not twice.
Exactly, because we go through a lot.
Yes.
And we also listen to people a lot. So you need help. So for me, I have a standby therapist.
Yes.
Who I call. Beside that, personally, I love music. I love, social things.
Yes.
So you'll find me just seated in my own space, listening to a very loud music. If I do that for 1 hour, I come out feeling better.
Good.
And of course, I do a lot of praying.
Yes.
That's how I cope.
You do.
And I do a lot of exercise.
Let me share mine. I also love music and walking. When I'm walking, I get a lot of ideas. I feel so relieved. The mood changes. I get happy.
I love that. Mood changes.
Yes. My mood changes because it regulates my mood. If I was so stressed up, I feel I'm having a lot of stress. I walk. Most times I walk an hour. I'm good. When I go home, I do my thing. The other thing that is very good that we can, even our viewers can do at home, and I'm sure some of them they do that, is dancing. Dancing.
I'm an expert.
Put your music, the one you love, dance. It really helps. Yes, we are coming to a close.
We are coming to a close, but viewers, I mean, don't live a dull life. Don't live a dull life. Look for something. Because when I have said, when you are mentally stable, you'll be able to negotiate. And Jane says, dance. What do you like? I love dancing.
And our viewers will tell us, and think about that. What do you love? What can relieve you from stress and moments that what we are talking about, depression, and can help you to deal with depression. Becky said that the source of depression, one of the areas where we get depression is from stress. If we can manage the stress, we can be able to deal